on the low belly or the low back, whatever feels good for you. And just trying to find that nice deep belly breath, surpassing the chest and dropping that breath right into your low belly. And then we're just going to do a body scan working from head to the toes, but I want you to focus more on the bones today. So a little bit deeper than usual. So just noticing the bones of your neck, your shoulder blade, your arm bones. Can you sense that depth? Can you drop into that deepness and really feel where your bones are, how they're feeling, what they're doing? And then moving down into the rib cage, maybe noticing and feeling your ribs with each breath you take. Can you sense that? Feeling your pelvis, your sit bones, maybe even your tailbone. And then whether you have sensation or not down into the lower body, asking yourself how it might feel to feel the leg bones, your thighs, how it might feel for the shin bones, all the way out through your feet, the dozens of bones within your feet. Go ahead and set your intention for class today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Good. You can either cross the arms over the chest, or you can make stack forearms on top of each other. And we're just going to start to bring this into a circle. So I'm going to have you just take a nice side bend to the left here. Arms don't have to come over the head unless you want to. And then lifting everything up to the ceiling, side bending over to the other side. Sorry, I got my lefts and rights mixed up there. And rolling down to the ground, rounding your back. And you're just going to continue with that circle. Side bending right, lifting, side bending left, and folding down. So can you find an inhale when you lift and an exhale when you circle down? Inhale to lift and exhale, circle. Whether your arms are crossed or stacked, I want you to switch the direction of your arms and then move your body in the other direction. Inhale to lift and exhale down. Yeah, that looks great, everyone. Just warming up the spine, finding your breath. One more. Good, and then we'll reach both arms up to the ceiling. Spread your fingers if you're able to. Take a nice dive up and over, going as low to the ground as you can. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale to roll up. Good, lift everything up towards the sky, looking up, and exhale, roll down. Try to find as much articulation as you can, if that's there for you. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale up. One more of these. Inhale, lift everything, lift your bones, up, up, up. And then exhale, rolling down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, coming up one more time. Bringing the arms behind you. Think of trying to touch your palms together. If you're able to interlace the fingers, go for it. Just holding that, pulling the chest forward. I'm just gonna have you add a couple of head nods up and down. Bring your eyes with you, looking up at the ceiling, down at your belly button. And actively tractioning the hands and the arms down. Last one. Okay, good, relax, shake that out. Good, we're gonna come right into a nice backstroke. Just find some freedom here. If you're standing, let your hips move with you. Maybe inhaling for a couple of strokes and exhaling for a couple of strokes. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, coming all the way back to the center. You're gonna have you take left hand and you're gonna tap across your body. Try to reach as far, like can you touch your right butt cheek? As far back as you can. And then you're gonna open both arms out to the side, making a T, palms facing forward. There you go. Right hand tries to touch left butt cheek and then open. Switch and open. Yeah, can we exhale to touch, inhale to open. Just trying to reach as far towards the butt cheek as you can. Each time you touch, maybe you can get a little bit further, a little bit further. Okay, you can either stay here, or if you want to bring this down towards the ground, you're going to do the same thing, but touching the outside of the opposite ankle instead. So you're just adding a lean forward. We call this move saw in Pilates. Leaning forward, touching either outside of the ankle or outside of the knee, whatever you can touch, whatever you can reach. Exhale down and inhale up. Yeah, let's do 3 more. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Last one. Down and up. Good. You're going to give yourself a big hug. Take just a half roll down, rounding your back, widening the area in between your shoulder blades. And then you're going to open. I want you to try to think of touching your knuckles together. Really, really pull those arms open like you're about to give someone a big hug. Switch the direction that your arms are crossed. Find a half roll down. And then open, open. Try to touch those fingers together. That's it. Switch the cross of the arms and roll down. Inhale to open. Yep, exhale to roll. Inhale, open. And exhale, roll. Last one. Inhale, open. Open, open, open. That's it. Exhale, roll. Okay, good. And coming back to the center. Adding more of a cross diagonal reach. So left hand is going to reach forward and up to the opposite side of the body, and then back down. If you're able to open and close your hand, I want you to imagine like you're reaching for something, you're grabbing it, and then you're pulling it towards you. If you're able to find this, inhale to reach and exhale to pull down. And then we're going to start to speed that up a little bit. Going a little bit quicker, making that movement a little bit more fluid. And a little bit quicker so you feel like you're in one of those 80s dance videos. Yep, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go and shake everything out. Arms and legs. All right, just a couple more things with the spine. So we'll bring arms out into a T. Let's actually go palms facing up. And you're just going to find that rib translation side to side. So remember for this one, you're trying to keep your ribs and your shoulders parallel with the floor as you glide back and forth. Yeah, there we go. And then I want you to turn your head and look towards the side that you're gliding towards. So adding some neck movements, if that's available for you. Just finding a nice, even, smooth breath here. Couple more. Good. And then both arms come up. We're going to leave the arms up, finding a couple shrugs. Inhale, shrugging everything up, reaching all the way up through your fingertips or your knuckles, and then exhale to unshrug. Inhale, shrug, and exhale and shrug. Yeah, try to leave those arms up if you can. Moving up and down. If you're standing, feel free to add some heel raises as the shoulders shrug up, if you want to work on that. 3 more. And last one. Good. Everything down. Now reaching down towards the ground. Think of pulling your shoulders down and back. Let's finish with one more. Head circle roll. Nice and easy here. And then switch directions. Noticing if there's any parts of this movement that feel a little sticky or tight for you today. There's always one spot for me that feels a little sticky.
All of them are crunchy.
Yeah. Or all of the above. Or D, all of the above. Yeah. Okay, give one more little shake out. Okay, and we'll hop right into this. So just like we've been doing the past couple weeks, we're going to move from our 2-minute challenge. So I'm going to explain all of this, but we'll move right from the 2-minute challenge into the 15-minute circuit. So it will kind of become a 17-minute circuit. So for the 2-minute challenge, if you have your cordless skippers, make sure you reset the number, that little button. Yeah, reset the skippers. I'm going to give you a bunch of options, so bear with me for a sec if you don't have the skippers. So arms are going to be straight out at your side like a T. Okay, so you're going to trying to go as quick as you can, finding that spinning of the skippers. If it's hard for you to hold your arms out wide, you can always bend the elbows and bring the hands a little bit closer to you. You always have that option if it gets to be too much for your shoulders. At the end of the 2 minutes, you can write down or you can try to remember the number that you got, and I'll have you type that into the chat box. Your other option, and I'm just realizing, let me grab my rags, hang on one sec. You'll grab 2 rags. 2 rags or 2 face towels. These are a little on the big side, but they do. And you can do the same movement, twirling the rags around, and you'll just count. 1, so sending lint into the air as I speak. So just doing as many circles as you can. If you don't, if that's also a little challenging for you, you can just do arm circles here. So arms straight out at your side. Do circles going backwards. So up, back behind you and around, up, back behind you and around. Again, so that we're really targeting more so the muscles in between your shoulder blades, more of your back. Okay, so circles going behind you. For standing athletes, feel free to add in a hop as you do the jump ropes. You can also add in a hop even if you're doing the arm circles with or without the rags. So you have the option to skip or even just to do a hop at a time if jumping consistently is kind of tricky. Oh, wow, that's interesting. The battery, the battery in your skipper has died already? Oh, Cynthia, that's a bummer. Yeah, so counting that will be impossible, but you've got 2 minutes on the clock, so it's all right. Okay, and then jumping right, did I get all of the versions? Yes. And then same thing, if your arms get really tired out here, you can always lower the arms so they're a little lower than shoulder height if this starts to get really, really challenging for you. Challenging / painful. Okay, then jumping right into our 15-minute circuit. So the first movement is going to be a clean to press. I'm going to show you a few variations for that one. Make sure I have that. Yeah. Okay, so for my seated athletes, holding your heavier weight if you have 2 pairs of weights. Palms are facing in. So you're going to hinge forward, flat back, neutral pelvis, if that's there for you. You can touch the weights to the floor or just lower down as quick as you can. You'll come back up to a seated position. You'll bicep curl the weights up so they're at collarbone height, and then you'll press the weights overhead. Back down and then straighten the arms. Okay, so this is version number 1, where you're moving kind of more at a step-by-step pace. If you want it to emulate more of the Olympic lift, so the clean and press is known as like an Olympic weightlifting technique, and or if you want to do this movement faster, you also have that option. So when you tap down, you're going to use the momentum of you pulling yourself back up while simultaneously finding the bicep curl, and then you'll press the weights overhead. So really, it's just kind of a quick snap, snapping of the weights up to collarbone height to pressing overhead. Yeah, so it's just a faster movement when you're coming to that more seated upright position if you want it. Likewise, for my standing athletes, you'll be doing the same movement, just adding a squat into there. I'm realizing my white shirt is kind of being washed out by this white wall behind me, so if that's hard for you to see, holler at me. Okay, so you're just adding a squat at the bottom of the movement. So holding the weights, you'll lower down into a squat. You don't necessarily have to touch the weights all the way down to the ground, although you can. You'll stand, you'll do a bicep curl, and then you'll press the weights overhead. Okay, so same exact thing. You're just adding a squat at the bottom of the movement. Again, if you want to make that a little bit more of a quicker movement or an Olympic style weightlifting movement, you're going to use the momentum from your legs to pull the weights up into that, we call it like the racks position with your weights or your soup cans, and then straightening your legs and pressing your weights all the way overhead, okay? So you're basically just doing that movement quicker to snap the weights up to collarbones. Okay, you're gonna be doing 20 of those total. Second exercise, I actually got from a colleague of mine. So this is called ski arms. I think a lot of you have done this. Let's see, I don't need any equipment. So for my seated athletes, you'll start palms facing each other. I'd say you don't have to use weights for this one, although you can. I won't be using weights. Okay, so hands are up. You can make a fist if you like. It kind of emulates the movement a little bit more. So my hands are in front of me. They're not totally overhead. They're slightly in front of me. Just like you would as if you saw someone skiing where they're doing this movement with their ski poles and they're going down the mountain, you're going to be doing a really similar movement. So as you lean forward, you pull your arms back behind you. Let me give you my side profile. So arms start up here, you're seated upright. And as you lean forward, you quickly snap the arms back behind you. So it's a quick movement down, slow movement up. Quick movement down, slow movement up. So I'm bending my elbows and then I'm straightening my elbows at the very end to become more of that dart-like position while my torso is hinged forward. Okay, so you want to go as quick as you can. If this part right here, that elbow extension is challenging for people for triceps, then holding this position at the end, this row position at the end is fine. But you're just thinking about trying to push those arms back, the hands back behind you as much as you can. If that's not there though, don't worry about it. Likewise, for my standing athletes, same movement, you're just gonna be adding a squat into that. So arms start out in front of you and you're gonna come back into that ski position, lowering yourself into a squat. This squat looks different though, because I'm imagining like I'm peering over the edge of a mountain. I'm leaning more forward because if you were wearing skis, they would kind of be catching you. So let your torso lean forward more than a typical squat would for that movement for my standing athletes. Yeah, I see people practicing. That looks great. You're going to be doing 30 of those total. Third exercise is going to be for my seated athletes. a side and overhead press. I'd recommend using your lighter set of weights for this. Sure, I'm still up here. Okay, so holding the weights into your chest, you're gonna bring the weights out into a T, shoulder height, palms facing forward if you can, and then pull the weights back into your chest. Press overhead, pull back in. T, pull in, overhead, pull in. Yeah. Yeah, and just as a side note, when people are lifting their arm, when you're coming up into an overhead press, and I know we've got some shoulder issues in here, but I would rather you be wider, bring your arms wider with straighter elbows as opposed to narrower with bent elbows, okay? So if it's more accessible for you to come to an overhead position where your arms are a little bit wider from each other, but the elbows can stay straighter, yeah, actually that looks good for a couple of you, that looks great. Then I would rather you be here instead of bent elbows and more narrow. Yeah, just as kind of a general overall rule for when you're doing overhead presses. Yeah, okay, cool. Where was I going with that? Yes, okay, sorry, that was a sidetrack. So side to overhead press. I'm gonna give you a couple more options. For my seated athletes with movement in their legs, if you want to stay out of your shoulders more, you have the option to do a side lunge, a forward lunge and a side lunge. So you're just kind of tapping the foot out in front and then tapping the foot out to the side, front, and you'll see this will look very similar to what the standing athletes are doing. Okay, that's just an option in case you want to stay out of your shoulders more. My standing athletes, you have the option to either hold weights or not. You're going to start by coming into a forward lunge. So I'm starting left legs coming forward and then pressing back to my starting position. Again, left leg goes out to the side. Remember, when it comes out to the side, the left knee bends, the right leg stays straight, and I'm trying to get my butt as far back as I can. And then the legs come together. Right leg goes forward into my forward lunge. Right leg goes into my side lunge. And then switching sides. So forward side on one side, forward side on the other side. And again, you can hold weights if you're able to. For everybody here, you're going to be doing 20 total. Fourth and final exercise is going to be a bicycle for your abdominals. Okay, so seated athletes, you have a few options here. Hands can either be behind the head or they can be crossed over the chest. If you're able to keep them behind the head, try to do it this way. This way it will be a little bit more challenging. Okay, so you're gonna round your spine. I want you to think of trying to touch your left armpit to your right hip. So I'm really actively trying to pull this armpit and tuck it into my right pocket, okay? And then coming back to a seated upright position. And then right armpit to left hip, how close can I get those? And then back to a seated upright position. I'm cueing you from your armpits because that's where that connection is that comes across into your abdominals, into your core, as opposed to just from your elbow, okay? So you can think about your elbow touching that opposite knee, but that connection is really gonna come from the armpit all the way down across the belly. For seated athletes with movement in their legs, feel free to lift that opposite knee up as you come. I'm sore, I'm a little sore on that side. As you come into that bicycle. So lifting as you're rotating, trying to bring knee to elbow or knee to armpit. Yeah. For my standing athletes and or floor athletes, you'll be on the ground doing a bicycle on your back. Hands behind your head, legs are floated the whole time. You're doing the same movement. I'm trying to bring my armpit across to the opposite hip. Knee can touch elbow if it likes. and then switching back and forth, trying to stay up into my ab curl the whole time. Okay, you are doing 40 of those total. So all of these numbers are gonna be total. So first exercise, clean and press, 20 total. Ski arms, 30 total. Side and overhead press or side and forward lunge, 20 total. Bicycle, 40 total. 20, 30, 20, 40. And then Sarah Dawn will post that again down into the chat box if it's easier to see there. So just as a reminder, we're gonna start with our 2-minute challenge being the jump rope. We're gonna go no music for that part. And then we'll jump right into the 15-minute circuit. All right, everybody. So you're starting with the jump rope or the arm circling. Try to remember how many arm circles you get, or try to remember to look at your jump rope, your skipper. All right, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. If there's any questions, feel free to type into the chat box, but I think everyone's looking good for right now. Okay, 2 minutes, on your marks, get set, and go. Yeah, nice work, everyone. Think about maintaining the rhythm and the speed that you have for the full 2 minutes. Try to keep it smooth and consistent. You're 45 seconds in. Nice, everybody. Got about 30 seconds left. Keep going, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Ooh-wee. Okay, try to remember how many you got. Go ahead and jump right into the circuits. You're starting with clean and press for 20. Okay, right into that. You've got 15 minutes on the clock starting now. I'm gonna join you in a second. I'm just gonna get some music going and then I'll be right behind you. Do you hear that? Okay, thanks.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me. If I tend to look dazed, I read it someplace. I've got cause to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? I've been taking on a new direction, but I have to say, I've been thinking about my own protection. It scares me to feel this way. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? What's got to do with it? What's love but a sweet old-fashioned notion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Who's got to do with it? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
You've got 10 minutes left. You're 5 minutes in, 10 minutes left. Keep it up, everyone.
A red wine, God, oh, I've had a little bit too much. All of the people stop to rush by. An easy twist to dance, can't find my drink, a man. Where all my keys, I lost my phone. What's going on the floor? I love this record, baby, but I can't see straight anymore. Keep it cool, what's the name of this club? I can't remember, but it's alright. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. That record, baby. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance, gonna be okay. Just dance, dance. Wish I could shut my Playboy mouth. How'd I turn my shirt inside out? Right. Control your poison, babe. Roses are thorns, they say. tryna pick it up like a call. I'm leaving it, latch onto it until tomorrow, yeah. Shorty, I can see that you got so much energy. The way you're twirling up them hips round and round. There's no reason at all why you can't leave here with me. In the meantime, stay, let me watch you break it down and dance. Gonna be okay. Work it, hustle. I got it, just stay close enough to get it. Don't slow. Drive it, clean it, lights out, bleed it, spend the last dough. I got it in your pocket. I got it, just dance. Gonna be okay. Da-da-do-do, just dance. Spin that record, baby. Da-da-do-do, just dance, baby. Da-da-do-do, just dance. Spin that record, baby. Da-da-do-do.
Six minutes left. 6 minutes left.
Fui a la discoteca a ver si me conseguía una fresca. Got myself some rum, cause where I'm from sometimes you need some. Me tomé mi trago y una princesa pasó por mi lado. La miré con ganas, con esa carita de fama. Ella miró, oh sí, ella pasó, oh no. Ella se volteó con una sonrisa. Tengo que bailar con esa muñequita. El DJ puso brinca y enseguida quise jalarla para la pista. Y cuando llegué, ay, llegó el tiburón y con él se me fue. Encontré otra chica que estaba mejor. Bailamos 3 merengues de corrido y gozamos. Luego nos sentamos, ordenamos bebidas y conversamos. She looked good, so of course I lied on my girl from the hood. Ella preguntó si tenía novia y yo dije no. Me quité el anillo despacito, me lo metí en el bolsillo. Vino un descarado y me dijo, oh, tú no eres casado. Me quedé pasmado y enseguida se la llevó de mi lado.
Oh my God, ese tiburón no es fácil.
Yo pensé que tú sabías que es proyecto 1 de la.
Ahí está, el tiburón. Ahí está, el tiburón. Se la llevó el tiburón, el tiburón. Ahí está, el tiburón. Ahí está, el tiburón. Se la llevó el tiburón, el tiburón. No pare, sigue, sigue. No pare, sigue, sigue. No pare, sigue, sigue. No pare, sigue,
un poquito más duro, 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 un poquito más duro. Chocolate, 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 choco. De canela, de canela, de canela, bella. Chocolate, 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 choco. De canela, de canela, de canela, bella.
One minute left. 1 minute left.
Walking up to me, expecting, walking up to me, expecting work.
Poetry in your body, you got it in every way. And can't you see it's true? I'm watching, I am hot for you in every way. And turn around, let me see you. Wanna free you with my rhythm. I know you can't get enough when I turn up with my rhythm. Your body's poetry, speak to me. Won't you let me feel your rhythm tonight? Move your body.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Yes, nice work, everyone. Sorry, I think I was freezing there a couple times. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was about a 17 and a half minutes. Really, really good work. Go ahead and grab some water, take a breather, and then we'll jump right into a cool down. Really, really good, everybody. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I always forget this. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Feel free to put your reps and sets into the chat below, or you can unmute yourself for your jump rope, for the 2-minute jump rope challenge, and then how many rounds and maybe repetitions you got through for the circuit. I just missed one. Peter got 1 3/4 set. Nice work, Peter. Yeah, the reps were a little bit higher today, so that makes sense. That was a tough one. 3 sets from Cynthia. Doreen got 487 on the skipper. Nice, nice, Doreen. That's awesome. 2 cycles. Nice, awesome, Bonnie. And then Peter got 110 for the jump rope, and Doreen got 3 rounds. Cool, cool. Feel free to keep sharing, everyone. I'll read them out when I'm zoomed in again. Okay, so I'll have you come back to a seated or standing grounding position of some sort. We'll just start with a few shoulder circle rolls. Inhaling to shrug the shoulders up, and exhale down and around. Just settling the breath back down, seeing if you can come back to nasal breathing, if that's there for you. Good, and then we'll frame our head with our arms, or you could cross the arms over the chest. Take a side bend to the left, breathe into the open ribs, just hold that for a sec. You can even pull that elbow a little bit more to really open you up on that side. And then side bending to the right, breathing into that side. And then back to the center. Good. You could leave your arms in that position. Just take one slow roll all the way down to the ground. Let everything hang heavy. See if you can feel your rib cage. Take one more inhale, one more exhale, rolling yourself back up, stacking one vertebra on top of the next. We'll open the arms down and back. Interlace the fingers if you're able to, or reach behind you, just opening the chest up one more time. Okay, good. We'll shake the arms out, you can shake the legs out. We'll close the eyes. Finding your breath, quieting that breath down, slowing that breath down. And then feeling your bones all the way from your neck, down through your rib cage, out through your hands, moving down into your pelvis, your legs, and your feet. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone, especially as we enter into the holidays. So just a couple of announcements. Oh yeah, I see a couple more. It looks like Nancy got 184 for the 2-minute challenge and 3 rounds for the circuit. Awesome, nice work, Nancy. So just a couple of things. Another huge shout out to Move United. I've got my handy dandy soft shirt on today for continuing to sponsor this class. And again, just as we kind of wrap this year up, we do continue to offer these classes for free. But we also would love to take donations. So if that is available for you, Sarah Dawn will post that link down in the chat box. Feel free to make a donation of any amount. We'll take it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. So yes, we're gonna be here Thursday, which is Christmas Eve.